What's good, people? Today is Thursday, October 4th, 2012, and you're listening to the SIRA Media Radio Show. I'm your host from Michigan, Dwight Rock Walker, General Manager of SIRA Media Group. And joining me today is my panel. She's a social worker as well as a social and political pundit from Jersey City, New Jersey, Shonda Fence, a.k.a. IQ. What's up, IQ?
Well, hello, and welcome back. It's wonderful to hear your voice on air.
No doubt. You too. Welcome back. And we have the writer, rapper, who also works with troubled youth in Atlanta, Georgia, Sean Ennis, a.k.a. Wise. What's happening, Wise?
Man, life good. Good to be back. We're back.
Holding it down. No doubt. Also, our special guest tonight, music producer who has worked with Motown, to Nat Records, out of Jersey City, New Jersey, King Dre. What up, Dre?
What's good, baby? How you?
No doubt, no doubt. I know Dre said he can't stay with us the whole time, but just try to hold it down as long as you can. Our phone lines are open at 347-215-7095. Once again, that's 347-215-7095. Remember, our blogs are open, but you need to register with us on blogtalkradio.com/SIRA Media Radio. So, for today's topic, we're reviewing the short film, There's Something Strange About the Johnsons, directed by Ari Aster in conjunction with the American Film Institute. Because about 2 weeks ago, I got a call from my mother, believe it or not, who actually told me I had to watch this film on YouTube. Now, she said it was about 30 minutes long. So, you know, I was like, 30 minutes? Do I really want to sit through a 30-minute film on YouTube that my mother recommended? My mom's recommends she recommends some weird films sometimes. So, but anyway, my wife walked into the room and said, hey, you know, you're going to put that film on? So we sat down, we watched it. There's Something Strange About the Johnsons. Now, before we get started, if you haven't seen the film, you need to stop listening to this broadcast, go to YouTube, type in There's Something Strange About the Johnsons, watch it, then catch the show on the archive page. And our archive page is siramedia.com/smradio.html. Literally, my mouth dropped when I was watching the show. So much so that normally when we open shows, we start out with commentary. There will be no commentary for this show. We're just going to get into it. So, IQ, can you explain to our audience what this film was about? IQ?
I'm speechless about what this movie was about. This movie, bottom line, this movie is about a circle of victims who all live in the same house. And who the perpetrator was, I have no idea. It's about a young man who clearly was in love with his father and who expressed his love with his father sexually. And a mom who became aware after a while and chose not to act on what she knew.
You know what? As a director, I can tell you that this director did a marvelous job.
Didn't he,
There were so many things. He really did. There were so many things that you had to pick up on in the film, such as the fact that the father smiled so much in the beginning. When his son was older, once he was an adult, you know, he stopped smiling. You know, he did not smile one other time. Another thing I noticed was when I watched it again, this was today, I picked this up, IQ, and I didn't tell you about this earlier, but there was the scene when, you know, the son got married. You notice when he squeezed the father's butt, they made sure that it was with the arm he had the wedding band on. To show you the audacity of it. That's how far gone, you know, it really was. So, first off, I want to get everyone's reaction, first off, when you first saw the film. So I'm going to start out with you, Dre. When you first saw the film, what was your initial reaction?
Some weird shit going on. However, I could see the reality in it. You know what I mean? I was like, because you was like watching, I'm like, come on, man. No. I was like, this is going to be weird. Then when I seen him beating off to his father's picture, I was like, heck, go rock with one of these crazy movies.
Yeah.
But it blew my mind, but I also saw the reality in it. You know what I mean? I kind of saw the reality in it.
And why?
Okay,
Dre,
I thought to myself, what is Rock having watching? What the hell is this? What in the is going on? Is that his dad's picture he yanking off to? Does he have his hands on his father's ass with his wedding ring on? Don't he see that bad chick he just married? Yeah, I thought all that. But then at the same time, I basically looked at it as it was an interesting take on the science of victimology, on the predator versus the victim, and how a person psychologically falls into the victim role when they're being pursued by a predator. In the moment, like, to me, it was deep. But at first, it weirded me out, I got to be honest.
IQ?
I kind of touched on this a little while ago with Wise. We work with these troubled youth, and this was literally a manifestation of what happens when their issues are not addressed. I could not, in the beginning, understand how it was possible for the mom to sit back, understand what was going on, and not make any moves until I had to think of the psychology of it all. When you're talking about victims and being victimized, the psyche totally flips from what it actually should be into what your reality is. You become isolated by it.
Wow.
Now, we've seen situations involving molestation before, usually between a man and a little girl, a mother and a little girl, a man and a boy, as well as a mother and a boy, which in most cases, the adult is the aggressor. This is the first time that I've seen that the child is the aggressor. Not saying it doesn't happen, I know that, but I haven't seen it on film before. And there's literally a scene where the son rapes the father. Now, you're a social worker. Have you ever seen a situation like that or similar to something that's like that?
Where the parent was literally physically violated, I have not come into contact with a case like that up close and personal. However, I have come into contact and currently am working with a young man who is verbally extremely abusive. Extremely verbally abusive. But physically, like what we saw, no, I've never come into contact with that.
All right, and I want to aim this at all of you. I ask you individually. The director is not African-American, okay, which for me was surprising but not shocking. The reason why it was surprising was because he honed in on something that, I've seen a lot in African-American families. If there's like a molester, a criminal, some illness that someone might have, we tend to act like nothing is going on. Everyone knows about it, but no one says it. They sweep it under the rug. And I'm equating this to the fact that the mother knew what was going on and chose not to do anything about it. I mean, to the point of ignoring it. I mean, her husband's getting raped in the bathroom, and she turns up the television to avoid hearing the screams. Now, when you saw the mother, in the very beginning, when the son was giving the father head, saw how the mother wiped her tears, it was shocked, but then she fixed herself and walked right back into that party with all smiles and everything. What was your reaction at that point? What did you think was going through her mind at that point?
From a personal perspective or from a professional perspective?
Let's do both. Let's do
from a professional.
Well, go ahead, professional first.
From a professional perspective, I was saddened for her because she had actually looked at what she had suspected for quite some time and did not have she couldn't find it within herself to take the correct actions that were necessary to make sure that this issue had been addressed. That's from a professional standpoint. From a personal standpoint, bitch, what the hell is wrong with you? The party would have been shut down right then and there. Not shut down because everybody had to leave, but it would have been shut down because cops would have been called, fire engines would have been in place, because somebody would have been in cardiac arrest. Be it me for trying to kill these two, or me, or because these two tried to kill me.
Well, all right. So here's the thing about that, though. Let's say that the mother knew anything in the past had happened. And if I put myself in that position, I would think that it would take more strength for her to walk away from that door, to go back to the party, to realize nothing was going on and to handle it later, rather than her just blow up everything right then and there. Or, I think it would take more strength to do that. I mean, obviously she didn't do either one. She walked away and she just kept having a party like it was all good and swept it under the rug. So I don't think I could do that. I think that I would open the door and I'd be pissed, but I would be shocked too. Like, how do you handle that? You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
you handle it like I'm watching somebody get physically abused, and regardless of what's going on, I got to stop it now. When I saw her do that, the first thing that happened to me is the shame. I just saw her think the shame of it all. Like, I don't want to embarrass my family. Forget the fact that I'm watching someone being violated. I didn't think that it was strong of her to walk away. I thought that she wanted to uphold the dignity of her family and her name and not expose her business versus than having the child molester locked up or the accuser locked up. But I wanted to refer to something that you said earlier. I think this guy, even not being a white person who directed this film, I think he flipped the demographics of the movie just to expose. Like, if you just look at the situation from the movie from a situational point of view, we like to believe Americans are indicative to certain kind of struggles, but the psychology of the victim role model, which is basically this movie is about, if you put Chinese people in it, it would have been the same. If you put white people in it, it would have been the same. If you put a daughter and a mother, it would have been the same. It's the science of victimology. Regardless of color, race, or creed, we're not indicative of this struggle. And I think him flipping it from the father to the son is the most shocking. But what it would have been, like the father was the father was being abused by the son. But regardless of who's doing the abuse, and the fact that someone's being abused is what we need to be shocked at.
SIRA Media Radio is on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. at www.blogtalkradio.com/SIRA Media Radio.